this has been the best rivalry here in Boston.
They've had some excellent games. I mean, some of the really close and tight-fought games were between these two teams.
Lionel can fly. James with the block. Asia Drayton gets the basket and one.
Nice step through that time to avoid the defense.
Jordan Galloway somehow got that one to go.
The new Mission Titans are the Division II state champions.
Hello everybody, welcome to Madison Park High School in Roxbury as we begin our coverage of the 2017 MIAA Basketball State Tournament. Tonight we have a first round matchup in the boys Boston North Division II bracket as the Beverly Panthers take on the Brighton Bengals. Hello everybody, I'm Pat Flaherty, joined by my partner as always, Alan Platt. Alan, we begin the madness of the state tournament on the last day of February, and we're looking at the Brighton Bengals tonight playing against Beverly. First, we'll start with the Beverly Panthers, a team that came into the season sort of thinking that they were going to have a rebuilding year, lost a lot of seniors from last season, but they're right back in the state tournament after getting 12 wins during the regular season.
And that's what happens in high school basketball. Sometimes your underclassmen who don't play much the previous season can come back strong. That's exactly what's happened with Beverly. They do have a couple of seniors they depend on, most notably their center. Probably
right,
their only real quality big man they have. Like you mentioned, Gavin, he's been leading them, and that's what coaches want. To get the state tournament, you depend on your seniors. Gavin's been averaging about 20 points a game. He rebounds well at 6'4", not really a bulky kid, but you can tell he's real lank, and watch them in the warm-ups, and very agile, very quick. So Gavin, for Beverly, he's been the main guy. He's the main focus for the Brighton defense.
Without question. He averages 20.5 points a game, 10.5 rebounds, so double-double machine. So he's going to be the guy that the Brighton Bengals will focus on tonight. Meanwhile, on the other side for Brighton, they're certainly coming off a high win in the city championship just a couple of days ago. One player who sort of played above expectations, but we know him from the athletic fields of Brighton on the football field and on the basketball court. That's Gerard Clark. He's our spotlight player tonight. Gerard was a force during the city championship.
Oh, definitely. Gerard came off the bench at the city championships. So you see number 15. Big fella, as you mentioned, tight end and defensive end and playing on the football field. And in the city championship, he just took over the game. Now, they clearly were playing against a much smaller Czech Boston team, but you got to give Gerard a lot of credit. He used his quickness, used that bulk of his. You see him block shot, did a little bit of everything. Able to cut down the lane and finish. He was an interesting player off the bench who you think plays as a starter, but he comes off the bench. So he's one of those things, it's like a luxury for that Brighton Bengal team. You see him 22 points, 9 rebounds, 4 blocks in this city championship game. That was only, 4 days ago?
That's right.
So they're still sort of riding high from that.
That's right. And Clark is finally healthy after tearing a ligament in his thumb back in the fall during football season. Now for more on this game, we're going to go to our sideline reporter, Seth Orensky. We've got an update on the Brighton Bengals. Seth, what do you have?
Thanks, guys. This young Beverly team is going to go as their senior big men go. Hugh Calise and Pat Gavin are their two most experienced players, two of their better athletes, two of their better scorers. Unfortunately, they're going to be giving up a ton of size against a Brighton team that has 4 players who stand at 6'5" or taller. Last Monday, in fact, on the road at St. John's Prep, normally one of the better Division I teams in the state, they were leading into the third quarter. Calise went down with an injury in the third. They ended up losing by 4 to St. John's Prep. For this team, they need to avoid giving up the fouls, especially down low. Head coach Scott Lewis said it's as simple as giving up some of the battles to potentially win the war. If his seniors can stay in the game, play well, it'll give them a chance against a Brighton team that's without one of their senior leaders. Jordan Diaz, unavailable today. He should be back going forward in the tournament if Brighton were to advance. It'll put a little bit more pressure on our player to watch, Gerard Clark, coming off an MVP performance in the championship game of the city tournament a week ago. Guys, take it away.
Thanks very much, Seth. And certainly when you lose a big fellow like Diaz, that's going to hurt you a little bit. But luckily, this year Brighton is so deep that they do have Clark, Taylor, and Ty Perry's now moved over to the power forward spot, so they can kind of take that hit early in the tournament. Yeah,
like Seth said, they are deep, but Diaz, he's been in the starting lineup for quite some time this season, so they're sort of used to it. So I think for the first few minutes of the game, it might be a slight adjustment for that starting five to sort of figure things out. Taylor is probably going to fill in for him to start the game. We'll see how that goes. Like you said, Taylor is one of their tall guys too. So you're going from tall to tall. Right? You get Diaz is a little tall and thicker, but Taylor's tall and more agile, which actually may be better for Brighton going against Gavin.
The Bengals have that luxury of bringing those big football players off the bench for a lot of games throughout the season, including this one. Folks, we're going to head to break. When we come back, we'll have the opening tap here from the Madison Park High School in Roxbury in the first round of the 2017 MIAA State Tournament. Make sure you stick around.
When I was 6, my days were spent playing basketball. When I was 6, my dream was to make it to the NBA. When I was 6, my mom had a stroke.
I'm Paul George, and I want you to spot a stroke fast.
F, face drooping. A, arm weakness. S, speech difficulty. T, time to call 911.
Protect the ones you love.
Spot a stroke fast.
When I was in foster care, I never knew when I would have to move. So I always had my suitcase ready to go. Then one day, I was adopted. My new parents opened their hearts and home to me. My parents cook my favorite breakfast for me every morning. My parents take me on trips I never thought I would go on. They gave me a home and an even better reason to use that suitcase. My parents aren't perfect, but they're perfect for me.
They said I have troll teeth.
That my voice sounded like a possessed baby doll.
That no one would ever love someone as stupid as me.
That I was fat, ugly.
Disgusting.
The effect of bullying is potent.
We will no longer be the silent majority.
Now, when you see online bullying, there's something you can do about it.
We're gonna take action with the I.
I am a witness.
I am a witness.
I am a witness.
I am a witness.
I am a witness, and so are you.
It's a beautiful day out here, sunny today with light breezes, giving way to clouds in the afternoon. We could see some light precipitation to moderate precipitation later on, followed by powerful storm-like conditions. 90 miles per hour winds are expected. Authorities are asking everyone, stay indoors.
Come on, that's it. Let's go.
Everybody has a dream. Mine was to see the ocean. And with a little help, I made it.
Got a quarter?
Welcome back to Madison Park High School in Roxbury for the 2017 MIAA State Tournament. We're in the North Division II bracket as the Brighton Bengals host the Beverly Panthers. As we mentioned, Beverly coming in after 12 wins during the regular season. Beverly, I believe, is the 13th seed coming into this game. Meanwhile, Brighton in this bracket is the 5 seed I'm sorry, Beverly's a 12 seed, so an early round matchup here in the North Division II bracket. Starters for both squads. For Beverly, it's Morency, Lorraine, Moreland, Khalees, and Gavin. Meanwhile, for the Brighton Bengals, it's Galloway, Ortiz, Dering, Perry, and Taylor in for Jordan Ortiz. Brighton in the all-white uniforms, black and orange trim. Beverly in the black uniforms, orange and white trim. We are underway here at Madison Park. The Panthers control the opening tap.
You mentioned just 3 seniors on the Beverly team in black. I'll be depending on them a lot. There's a alley-oop off the backboard, no good. And there's Gavin. As we talked about, rebounds both ways, 10 rebounds, average, a little over 10 rebounds per game. Gets the first offensive rebound and a putback.
Yeah, Gavin, one of the few players about 6'4" or taller for Beverly. And he's the one that Brighton's going to have to try to shut down tonight. Good job in the opening possession by the Beverly senior. Ortiz, short jumper, gets it to go for the Bengals.
Yeah, Beverly's starting out in a sort of a zone. They have Gavin under the basket. That time Ortiz made a quick 10-footer, easy 10-footer from the baseline. First turnover of the game.
Morency looking for Luigi Durain over on the wing, but the pass had a little too much mustard on it. Morency, the quarterback for the Beverly football team, looked like he was throwing a slant pass.
Doesn't really shoot much, but they depend on him to sort of handle the ball and find open shooters.
Ortiz. Now back to Galloway.
Brighton's trying to figure out what's going on inside, and Gavin's just standing on the basket.
Jordan Galloway for 3 off the back iron. Ortiz with the offensive rebound. Perry can't get it to go inside. Rebound comes down to Durain. About Gavin Durain, probably the second leading scorer for Beverly. He can shoot it. Gavin working inside, rejected by Quincy Taylor. Galloway, short jumper, no good off the window. Khalees with the rebound for the Panthers.
Yeah, both teams shooting long with their opening shots. A lot of adrenaline going on.
You see that in the city championship, and like you said, Alan, we see that here,
minutes.
especially the start of the tournament. It's sort of a different phase of the season. Khalees inside, can't squeeze it home. Taylor with the rebound for Brighton. Ty Perry from 3, gets it to go for the Bengals.
It's going to be important for the Bengals to be able to make some outside shots because the way that Beverly's playing this zone, they're really packing it in. First foul of the game. I think they're just fixing the shot clock.
Closely guarded by Michael Dering. Now it's Gavin up the up fake. Baseline jumper off the mark as Perry comes away with the rebound for Brighton. Ty feed inside to Taylor.
Gavin.
Galloway gets it to go and the foul. Jordan Galloway knifing inside the lane.
Yeah, Gavin got the initial block shot for Beverly, but then he got stuck on the opposite side of the baseline. Watch Galloway. As Galloway goes, Gavin's all the way to the left side, and there you see Khalees with the foul.
And Galloway no good on the free throw. Brighton shot just over 50% at the city championship at the free throw line. You got to hit your free throws in the state tournament. Again, it's poked away by Perry. Perry again for 3, and again he knocks it down.
Well, that zone for Beverly's going to have to come up the top to take away those 3. Perry hitting his first 2.
10-0 run for Brighton after Beverly scored the first bucket. 4:35 left to go here in the first quarter. And you look at Ty Perry, and in the past, he's always been a very good scorer, especially getting inside the paint. But knocking down these 2 threes. This is an improved part of his game.
Oh, definitely, and you have to like the fact that he recognized it right away, no hesitation. Like I said, Beverly's packing everything inside the foul lines. I'm sure right now they're going to spread it out a little bit, which should open up some of the inside play on offense for Brighton.
And you see the Bengals opening round matchup coming fresh off the 2017 Boston City Championship, where they defeated the Tech Boston Bears 76-64. 2 out of 3 of the last seasons, Brighton has won the city championship. Brighton actually won the state championship back in 2013 after losing out in the state finals in 2012. Right. So last season, Brighton lost to New Mission in the sectional finals, and Coach Coleman talked about how it was a very good learning experience for his team last year to make it a good amount, but to understand, there's a lot more you have to do to become a state champion.
That was a crazy game, too, because New Mission pretty much controlled the game, had a big lead. Then in the last, 5 minutes, Galloway went nuts and brought Brighton back, making it a close game.
He did. Michael Daring, who you see right there, made a big 3 to cut it to 1 with about 20 seconds left before New Mission was able to sink a couple free throws. Inside to Gavin, and they're going to call the foul on the floor.
Yeah, Taylor tried to get that steal, because Brighton came out in a full-court pressure that time. Beverly did a good job breaking it, getting the ball to Gavin.
So Quincy Taylor with his first personal foul, first team foul for the Bengals. Police inside, can't get it to go. Ortiz tried to feed it inside to Taylor, and Durain comes up with a loose ball. And I think we could get another foul on Brighton.
No, shot clock didn't start again.
Oh, excuse me.
It's problem. There was a lot going on.
Yeah, I thought there was maybe a hold or a grab down low.
The defense, like you said, for Brighton is very aggressive. Playing straight man.
Gavin gets his pass poked away. And we get a foul on Khalees before any shot went up.
Now they're having a real problem with the shot clock. The officials just said to put 24 seconds up.
I thought that was
confusing. It's like, you're right. There was something that on the baseline. They were bumping. Brighton said a baseline pick, and Khalees sort of ran into it. The 3 seniors on the Beverly team are all starters.
Perry from the elbow. Short with that one. Morency with the rebound. Morency inside, tries to lay it down to Gavin. Shot blocked by Taylor, but Gavin gets the putback.
Real good hands, and say he's 6'4". Look out there. He doesn't look like he's 6'4".
No, he doesn't.
He does play pretty big. Got that lanky frame.
Galloway with the acrobatic finish for the Brighton Bengals.
More full court pressure.
Another steal, but Beverly is able to get it back. Khalees was wide open. Now it's Morency off with the 3. Quickly up the floor, Brighton goes. Beautiful lay down to Taylor.
Fast break offense for Brighton. Off a missed shot.
Durain inside, and Luigi gets fouled. He'll head to the charity stripe.
Good head and shoulders fake to get Taylor up in the air. Going for the block shot. You see the pass inside. Watch Taylor. So the head and shoulders fake, got him in the air. But if you're Brighton, you got to like the pace. They came out of that timeout with a full court press. It did get them 1 turnover, but it also got them, more importantly, 2 fast break layups off of missed shots. Now you see our spotlight player coming into the game for the first time is Gerard Clark, 15 for Brighton's in it.
Willie Veal also checking in for the Bengals. As Drain knocks down the second. Back to an 8-point game here with 2.5 minutes left to go in the first quarter. Galloway. Michael daring for a three. You can't leave him wide open.
I'm not sure how often or if Trevor's had a chance to actually see Brighton, but you're right, Pat. Daring's the one, even more so than Perry. You cannot leave open for threes.
Morency open three. He can't get that to go. Perry kicks it out to Daring. Michael squeezes it home for the Brighton Bengals.
Nice hesitation play on the layup.
Brighton up by 13 here with just under 2 minutes left in the first quarter, and not a good turnover from the Beverly captains.
And those are two of your seniors too. Those are two senior captains, both. Gavin trying to make the pass to Khalees. You're down double digits early in the first quarter. Those are the plays that coaches really think about. Brighton defense, because like you said, Pat, because they go so deep in their bench, they're able to get all these fresh legs out there.
Jumper around the rim and out. Gavin there for the putback.
You can see why he averages 20 points, Pat. I mean, he stays right around the offensive lane. Nice, another job by Galloway getting under the block attempt by Khalees.
Lascani gets fouled right around the elbow as LaQ Howard has whistled for his first.
Foul on Howard, and it's his first, team third. Substitution made in this game for Galloway.
You see Durain on the drive, tries to lay it down to Khalees.
Quick hands by Brighton defensively.
Under a minute to go here in the first quarter. LaQ Howard. Good swing by the Bengals. Veal knocking down the three.
We saw Veal come off the bench in the senior championship and bang two quick threes from the deep wing to take what was a close game to a wide margin.
Durain no good from three. Here comes Brighton again.
Maben, it's going to be a play control foul. A strong drive, but the defender was already there. Thomas gets called for that foul.
Just over 30 seconds left to go here in the first quarter. Beverly trailing by 16 as Brighton has been able to pile up the points here in the opening frame. That's going to be another foul on Brighton.
Going to reach in.
That's LaQ Howard. That's his second personal foul on LaQ Howard.
Yeah, Brighton's doing their best to keep the defensive pressure up, trying to make this a wide margin before halftime. They're already up 16.
And Gavin tried to save it, but that'll go back to Brighton.
The clock had actually knocked the ball away, but like you mentioned, Gavin tried to save even though it was on its way out of bounds.
So now the Bengals can hold it for the final shot as the shot clock is turned off. Pounded inside to Clark. Gerard up and under, no good. 10 seconds left to go. We'll see if Beverly can get a decent possession out of this. 4 seconds left on the clock. On the drive, the floater, no good from the Panthers. And after one here at Madison Park High School in Roxbury, Brighton Bengals 24, Beverly Panthers 8 here in the 2017 state tournament. Folks, we'll be right back after this.
We just finished dinner and it was time for homework. He hates homework.
It makes no sense.
I don't know how he finds anything in his backpack.
I can't find my backpack.
I couldn't even read his handwriting.
Holding the pencil makes my hand hurt.
I know he's bright.
Why is it so hard for me?
He's
I'm
just
trying
gotta
as
try a
hard
little
as
harder.
I can.
When you can see learning and attention issues from their side, you can be on their side. Go to understood.org, a free online resource with support and tools to help your child thrive.
Welcome back to Madison Park High School in Roxbury for the first round of the 2017 MIAA State Basketball Tournament here in the North Division II bracket. Brighton Bengals lead the Beverly Panthers 24-8. Folks, if you want to follow us on social media, you can search for Game of the Week on Facebook in Boston. And a lot of good stuff on our Facebook page, videos, pictures, updates, a lot of good stuff up there. You can also follow us on Twitter at Boston City TV. And if you want to tweet at us, use the hashtag BostonGOW. The Brighton Bengals pretty much did everything they wanted to do there in the first quarter, applied defensive pressure, and got out on the break offensively.
That's exactly what they want to do. And more importantly, or as I say, just as important, they hit some threes outside. You had Perry hit 2 to start the game, then Will Avila came off the bench and hit a long one. And then Daring, of course, hit one. So those 12 points right there helped us get this big lead.
Moscani no good from 3. Gavin no good on the putback. Veal firing up another 3, that time around the rim and out. Good hustle from Brighton's Murchison to save it.
Good hustle for Beverly to get that ball away. Straight man-to-man for Brighton, but pressure. Want the kids working hard the whole time they're out there. It's going to be a hold on the Khalees, who's trying to cut through and
yeah, it looked like
Thomas
Thomas
Maben. Yeah, Maben was trying to stay with Khalees.
Fouls on Maben. That's his
second personal foul on Maben. 16 fouls now for Brighton. So the next foul
They're
on the
piling them up.
Bengals.
Yeah,
Beverly will be in the bonus.
Rest of the half.
Three-pointer on the way for Durain, no good. Khalees there for the putback. Coming away with the steal is Beverly, and getting fouled.
It's going to be 1-1.
Is Rotting, so he'll head to the free throw line.
Good play on both ends. By Rotting, you see the steal right there. Instead of going up for the block, he was able to lay it down. But as he got fouled, like you mentioned, 17 fouls, so 1-1 right now for Beverly.
Matt Rotting, the junior backup point guard, now at the free throw line. Did not hit the front end, and Galloway with the rebound. He's off to the races. Jordan inside to Clark. Gerard couldn't finish. Sloppy pass there from Beverly. Here comes Perry. Ty quickly to the bucket.
You can tell, like you said, he hasn't been as offensive-minded this year as we've seen him in the past, but tonight he definitely is.
Ty Perry now with 8 points to lead all scorers so far here in the first half. That 3 off the back iron that time for Durain.
Billy's having a tough time with the three-point shooting.
Back down the other end, it's Field with the layup.
Getting some open shots, but haven't made one yet.
And Coach Lewis wants to talk about things. 5:53 left to go here in the second quarter. Brighton with an 18-point lead over the Beverly Panthers. There you see Perry.
Perry again, as he's able to go to the basket. Listen, I'm surprised as aggressive as Brighton's playing defensively, Beverly's not getting more inside to Gavin.
Our sideline reporter Seth Orensky's got an update for us. Seth, what's happening on your end?
Thanks, guys. Beverly's down by 18, but it hasn't been the normal suspect. They've really struggled rebounding the ball all season long. Today, though, 8 of their 10 points have come off second chance points off of offensive rebounds. They have 5 offensive rebounds. They've capitalized on 4 of those. On the other side, Brighton's been limited to just the 1 offensive rebound. Coach Lewis, though, really frustrated with this team's execution, missing a lot of shots, and secondary, there's just too many turnovers, especially early on in this second quarter. Guys, take it away.
Thanks very much, Seth. And we've seen Brighton sort of at the start of the second quarter, not as crisp and as fluid as the first quarter, but despite those mistakes, Beverly hasn't really taken advantage of that.
Not at all. And that's what you have to do. And remember, the state tournament's 1 and out. you got one chance to play. You got to win to keep going. And it's and so far we're seeing the Beverly team that's sort of playing like a 12 seed. And it's the outside shooting is really letting them down so far.
That's true. Daring, top of the key, rattles that one home.
One of the few times they were able to use a half-court set and have a weak side jump shooter come to the foul line and score.
Galloway inside to Perry. What a find from Jordan Galloway.
It took Perry an extra second to get there, but Galloway was able to hesitate to make the pass. Problem with Beverly defensively is they just can't stop anybody inside.
Durang going baseline, blocked by Clark. Gavin with the save, but it's taken away by Galloway. Jordan beating everybody down the floor. Clark with the putback and the foul.
That's a case of everybody running for Brighton, even though Galloway was ahead of the pack. Once his shot went awry, watch, good job by Khalees to get a hand on that, but there's the big fella running baseline to baseline to get the putback. Announcement was made before the game that Gerard has already been offered a football scholarship to Coastal Carolina. And we've seen him on the football field.
That's right.
Tight end and defensive end. Very impressive player.
And we just saw his good hands right there as well, as that one is kicked out of bounds by Morency, so I'll stay with the Bengals. Clark, football player. Quincy Taylor, one of the defensive ends for Brighton. And as we mentioned, Jordan Diaz, who's out tonight. Also a football player on the offensive and defensive lines for the Brighton Bengals, who made it to the state semifinals. Reverse lay-in good from Clark.
That's one of the breakdowns with the way that Beverly's playing the defense. They've come a step out, maybe because they want to defend the three-point shooting a little better, but the way Clark can run that baseline with that bulk, it's going to be tough to try to keep him out of the lane. I mean, Brighton's got to be happy. Most of their baskets in this first half are coming off assists. Matter of fact, in the first quarter, their 10 hoops had 9 assists, which is very high for high school basketball.
Duncan Moreland at the free throw line knocks down the front end of the 1-and-1. This is one thing that Beverly can sort of try to climb back into the game with. You stop the clock, you try to get a couple of free throws.
Get some scores. They just got to figure out how to get some stops.
Duncan Moreland no good on the second, so a 21-point lead for Brighton here midway through the second quarter. Galloway, alley-oop to Clark, short on that one, no good on the putback. And that ball knocked out of bounds by Ty Perry. Get it into Durain, who's no good on the jumper.
I'll tell you, their outside shooting has really hurt them.
Steal by Morency to Khalees for the layup. Nice play by Morency.
Now, Beverly's going to come into a half-court trap, but they've got to close it up. That's, I mean, see, the baseline's been open the whole game, and it's a good idea to try to stop penetration by Galloway, but if you're not going to really swallow him up, he's going to find the guy that will open the baseline.
Yeah, it's a 2nd and 1 now for Gerard Clark.
They only have 3 team fouls. You're better off even committing a foul in that case, but to prevent the hoop onto the basket, that's a 3-point play.
Substitution for Brighton as Bradley Simon comes in for the Bengals. Michael Daring heads to the bench. And Johnny Ortiz heads to the bench with Angelo Lee coming in for Brighton.
You're talking about going deep in your lineup. They've used 11 guys already.
And Ty Perry stepped out of bounds, so it'll stay with Beverly. Morency thought about a three, now back over. Three-pointer on the way in, good that time for Duncan Moreland, the freshman.
Now 2-3 zone for.
It's the third time we've seen that from Gerard Clark, the reverse lay-in.
It's going to happen a lot. He's just too good with his hands. Once the ball's anywhere near him.
Rain on the drive.
What they call it in football, catch radius. Right?
Yes, that's right.
And this is a good example of it with Clark. I mean, we talked about him being a tight end, which he is.
Yep.
You see the play trying to get to the basket, Beverly, but again, Beverly's doing a smart thing, like you mentioned. Everything's to the basket, trying to draw fouls because there's 9 team fouls now on Brighton. The way Brighton is running kids in and out, foul trouble shouldn't be a problem because, like I said, they've already played 11 players in the first half. So you can sort of share your fouls so that no one, especially none of your important players, get in foul trouble.
So Luigi Durain knocks both of his free throws down. He's now going to head to the bench. Here with 3:08 left to go in the second quarter. Back in is Toscani Abreu. Perry inside, and the shot is blocked, and then blocked again by Khalees. So Gavin and Khalees getting in on the defensive side of the ball. Inside to Galloway for the layup.
Brighton's just cutting the baseline the entire game.
Morency. Now it's Moreland off the back iron with that three. Galloway top of the key for three, no good. Khalees with the rebound. And they're going to whistle Bradley Simon for the foul.
So that's going to be a double bonus now for the last 2:19 of the half.
If you're the Beverly Panthers, you got to take advantage of the free throw line right now.
Well, and actually you can relax because it's 2 shots.
Abreu knocks down the first substitution for Brighton. Coming back in is Messiah Murchison. As Perry heads to the bench, Ty with 8 points. The Bengals, second free throw, no good. Gavin trying to go after the rebound, but Brighton comes away with it. And a good steal there by Morency, up to Abreu. Up and under shot, no good. Good rebound from Moreland, and he gets fouled.
Good hustle that time on both ends for Beverly. Showing some spunk defensively. Get the steal, couldn't quite finish the layup, but you had the big freshman, Moreland, get inside. Watch Moreland with its rebound as he tries to get back up and gets tripped.
Beverly now 6 for 11 from the free throw line. There's your 2 underclassmen there for Beverly. Making that play, Abreu a sophomore and Moreland at the free throw line, just a freshman. As Duncan knocks down the second. Galloway. And that three-pointer no good that time from Simone. And the putback is good that time from Angelo Lee. Khalees inside, no good on the left hand. Galloway no good from the elbow. Inside to Khalees, good find.
Much better second quarter for Beverly. It's just for them, it's tough that they fell behind so far in the first quarter. Still a 19-point game now.
Just under a minute to go here in the first half. Brighton Bengals with a 19-point lead over the Beverly Panthers. Good swing there from Brighton, as Mutchison no good from the corner. Morency trying to feed it inside. Pass is deflected. Galloway gets it to go here with 35 seconds left before halftime. Strong drive that time from Abreu, who's had a nice second quarter here for the Panthers.
Yeah, he might see some more time in the second half. He's been making strong moves to the basket. Last shot time.
Galloway inside, lays it down. Shot is blocked with 3.9 left on the
Double
clock.
block there. Was it Moreland and Khalees? A piece of that one.
And that's a turnover by the Bengals, so Beverly with a chance to maybe get one more basket just before halftime. Maybe even go towards the rim if they can get it up quickly and try to get fouled. And Beverly turns it over with 3 seconds left to go.
They were trying to get some momentum to the basket, but ball's going to go back baseline underneath the basket for Brighton. So
that's a cardinal sin right there for the Panthers, throwing it away after the inbound underneath the hoop. Get it into Galloway. Takes the corner three himself. So after the first half here at Madison Park High School, the Brighton Bengals with a 19-point lead over the Beverly Panthers, 45-26 here in the first round of the Boys North Division II bracket of the MIAA State Tournament. And like we mentioned, after the first quarter, Brighton Bengals just kind of doing whatever they want. They pounded inside. They've knocked down threes from the outside. And Jordan Galloway seems to be able to get into the paint whenever he wants.
That's the key. Once he's able to get to penetrate past the foul line, the baseline's wide open, and Brighton players are doing an excellent job. They're cutting from either corner of the baseline. Most notably, the big fella, Clark, as he was able, like you mentioned, the up and under layup, which is one of his favorite shots. He was able to convert some of those.
Without question, Clark with a good first half along with Ty Perry and Galloway for the Brighton Bengals. Beverly coach Scott Lewis is with our sideline reporter, Seth Orensky. Seth, take it away.
Joined by Beverly head coach Scott Lewis. Coach, you guys got the first basket and they immediately went on that 10-2 run, sort of pushed you out of it. How does your team need to do a better job of handling maybe some of their pressure, but also this gym and maybe the athleticism of Brighton?
Yeah, I mean, I just felt like we missed some easy shots and it turned into transition for them. If we finish down there, then they don't get transition. It's a whole different game. We're probably down, 10 or 12 instead of this. So, we got to do a better job of finishing when we get those opportunities.
Your bigs have stayed out of foul trouble. You've rebounded pretty well. I think it's close to being even, especially on the offensive boards. What's the biggest thing you need to focus on defensively to slow down their offense?
I think we just got to tighten up that middle a little bit. Their bigs are trying to working their way inside on us, and we got to tighten up our middle.
Coach, thanks for your time. Good luck in the second half. Guys, take it away.
Thanks very much, Seth. And Coach Lewis mentioning how Beverly did miss probably 3 or 4 bunnies inside that really kind of put them behind the 8 ball.
Not only that, they missed all their 3-pointers. Except the freshman made one in the second quarter, but first quarter they had some wide open looks, and those are what you want. Right. And that's how you stay in the game, especially against a much bigger team. They wouldn't fall, and like Coach Lewis said, if they can finish off some of their open looks, that'll help get them back.
Without question, we'll see if Beverly can make some adjustments here at halftime. Meanwhile, the Brighton Bengals probably just looking to do what they did in the first half and the second half, and they should be just fine. Now, we mentioned a lot of the players on the Brighton Bengals basketball team come from the Brighton Bengals football team, and this past season was the inaugural season of Brighton's brand new football field, but it took a lot to get that field for Brighton's football program, so we're going to take a look at that story right now.
Let's go 5 RB counter, double team right there, up to that backer.
Brighton Bengals head football coach Randolph Abraham is a stickler for details. His play calling is complex.
Trips right open, zip. 99 jet.
and his instructions are precise.
I want you guys to blow this kid up because we need to get movement. We get this movement, look at the size of the hole, then climb up to the backer.
But before the 2016 season, Abraham's coaching style wasn't the only complicated aspect of the Brighton Bengals football program. Since the 1980s, the Bengals have been a football gridiron orphan, after their former practice field next to the Charles River in Brighton fell into disrepair. The Bengals then bounced around to different practice facilities until 1998, when they settled on Cassidy Field in Cleveland Circle, a less than ideal location for football drills and scrimmages.
That feels just, oh my God, it's just it's unbearable. You know, holes, you know, we have geese feces all over the place.
There's like a lot of rocks, holes, there's like hills, it's uneven.
The lines were never straight. It's just dealing with the elements. It was just not an ideal situation.
To make matters worse, private spaces for the Bengals to change into their pads were few and far between.
And when I played, we changed outside. Whether it was rain, snow, doesn't matter, we had to change outside, you know, in the middle of, you know, the field.
Home games were also an adventure for the Bengals. Each Friday, Brighton would have to leave school hours before game time and make the crosstown trek to Boston English, and then years later, White Stadium.
Well, we're very thankful to all the city, teams and White Stadium for allowing us to play. And we would have to leave kind of like right after school and try to beat the traffic, wait a few hours before the game, hope to get a locker room because they're doing double headers.
Playing games at White Stadium, it's old, it has history behind it. Everybody that played there, my dad played there, but I just wanted to play on our own field, a place that we can call home.
But over the last handful of seasons, word began to trickle through the Bengal community that a brand new field was in the works.
I didn't believe it. Quite honestly, I didn't believe it until last year, around November. Coach Abraham told me, hey, it's real. And I'll be honest with you, I still didn't believe it until I came out here physically and I saw them doing construction.
The Brighton community teamed up with Simmons College, who began leasing the Daly Field Athletic Complex, the former home of the Brighton Bengals. Simmons then financed a $13.5 million refurbishing of the Daly Field Athletic Complex that they would then share with Brighton High School after the completion of the renovation.
And it turned into an amazing partnership between Brighton High School, the Brighton community, and Simmons College. And well, Simmons is doing a great job. First of all, I want to thank them for putting this together for us and just working with us. They have a maintenance group here. They take care of the field.
And in the summer of 2016, the Brighton Bengals coaches and players were able to walk onto their very own home football field for the first time.
Oh man, I shed a tear. I did. It was beautiful. For putting in all this work as a player, as a coach, we finally have a place to call home.
It got to a point where I just come out here with just shoes and socks and just start running over the field because I was just excited.
The new Daly Field comes fully equipped to serve the needs of the Bengals football program. Whether it be the new locker room for the Bengals to occupy.
Here, we're changing inside with his heat now, running water and bathrooms.
With a state-of-the-art organic turf that Brighton now practices on.
No rocks, no slipping on nothing, no hills. It's just flat, nice and even.
What I was told, I went to several meetings at Simmons, is there's a padding right underneath the turf, the grass, and it actually prevents the concussions.
They're supposed to reduce concussions something like 50%. And that's why, again, it's great practice in here as opposed to Cassidy. That's where we would have our concussions at practice, where here it's like the kids can go and get taken to the ground and they bounce right back up because of the foam underneath the turf.
In addition to its brand new amenities, Daly Field sits less than a mile from Brighton High and provides an accessible venue for members of the Brighton High School community.
When we go out fundraising, people ask us, where's the field at? And we used to say at White Stadium, but now we just say at Daly Field. Now a lot of people from our school can come out, people from the community are coming out. We have these stands packed.
Now that we're here, people coming home from work, go home, take a walk, 5-minute walk down the street, you're right here.
But as these Bengals relish in their newly minted football residence, they will be sure to remember the decades of players and coaches who had to sacrifice before them.
On opening night, when my brothers came out and they saw that the dream was reality, they couldn't believe it either. They were happy that we finally had a place to call home.
Many of them don't even, a lot of the new kids don't know what it felt like to be in geese, poop, and practice football, but this is everybody's field, all the Bengals. Nice job! Nice job.
There you have it. The Brighton Bengals now at Daly Field. They both practice and play their home games at Daly Field over in Brighton. And whenever you can get a football field, I mean, for so long, and a lot of teams in the city have had to do this. You go to school in Brighton, we got to travel all the way down to Jamaica Plain just to have a home game. It feels like an away game, you know?
Of course, right.
So for Brighton to have a home field, that just means the world to that football program. They showed it this past season, getting to the state semifinal.
I was just going to say, it showed because they were able to play so well because they can practice consistently. Both coaches, as you mentioned in that piece there, talked about how the players feel just so much more relaxed. Like you said, close proximity to the school, get there, and just as importantly, close proximity to the neighborhood. You can have people come in from work and catch part of the game.
That's right. A lot more people at home games, which is very good for that Brighton football program. Let's take a look at the halftime stats from this one before we get going here in the third quarter of Game of the Week. And first up, it's the Beverly stats.
Yeah, for Beverly, you see Khalees and Gavin, two of the three tri-captains with 6 points each. Gavin with 6 rebounds, Khalees with 4. Then he assists Morency with 3, and Gavin had 1. And again, those stats sort of show the missed opportunities that Beverly had throughout the entire first half. For Brighton, opposite a bit, both Galloway and Perry with 10 points as Perry started up the game with 2 3-pointers. Rebounds, Clark came off the bench with 4. Galloway added 3. Galloway 9 assists in the game already. Ty Perry also had 5, so 14 between those two players for the Bengals.
Yeah, very good stats there for the Brighton Bengals. Jordan Galloway, probably the best player so far there in the first half. We got some highlights of him from the first couple of quarters, and he was doing whatever he wanted inside the paint.
That's the key. It's inside. This is what we said. He's up and under he has all kinds of tricky shots, a little hesitation shot there, but just as important to me was the fact that he was able to find his teammates on the baseline. That time, a little hesitation. So his 10 points, all it were inside. Took a couple of jumpers, didn't make those, but went to the basket. Coaches would rather see a good ball handler like Galloway get all the way to the basket anyway.
That's right. And Coach Coleman, we talked to him, before the city championships and also before this game, he's mentioning how Jordan's becoming just a better point guard all around. Obviously can score, get inside the paint, but his passing has been more accurate this season. And when he's going right, this Bengal team is tough to stop.
Well, it just gives the entire team so much confidence. That's the whole key.
The Bengals with a 19-point lead over the Beverly Panthers. We're just about ready to start the third quarter here at Madison Park High School in Roxbury. Beverly will start off the third quarter with the basketball, going right to left as Durain gets his shot rejected out of bounds by Ty Perry.
Set play from Beverly coming out into the third quarter.
Winchester 36-20 at half.
We have some other games going on tonight. Latin Academy, who's also at home, leading Winchester 36-20 at halftime.
And that three is off the mark for Morency.
Yeah, that's just more of the same for Beverly. Just having a tough time with the three-point shooting.
If Latin Academy wins their game, Brighton wins their game, they will meet in the next round of the North Division II bracket. What a feed from Galloway inside to Taylor.
Well, again, Taylor, and don't forget, Taylor is filling in for Diaz in the starting lineup for Brighton.
Jordan Galloway now with 10 points, 10 assists. Very early in the third quarter. Gavin, and they're not going to count the shot. He was fouled on the floor, and that foul's on Ty Perry.
Yeah. Interesting. They actually have a switch off on that one. Perry got caught leaning in.
Line drive three, no good, but Khalees with the rebound for Beverly. That time the threes rattled home from Luigi Durain.
Well, Beverly knows they've got to make some threes to cut into this big deficit, so they've taken 3 already this half, maybe 1.
Durain's the guy that's going to shoot him. We'll see if that gets him going. Now it's Perry off the spin move to the corner. Johnny Ortiz around the rim and out on that three. That's tapped out of bounds by Taylor, and it's going to go back to Beverly.
Chance for back-to-back hoops for Beverly.
And a turnover that time as Galloway picks off the freshman.
Yeah, I was going to say, it's a freshman mistake is you had your teammate there, Morency, who's the ball handler anyway. The ball should just get right to him. Yeah, Beverly's fighting against a bunch of things. They have a bunch of young kids who are trying to cut into this huge deficit.
Ortiz stops, pops, and that time he doesn't hit. Taylor back out to Daring, and now it's Galloway from the top of the key. Calise. Strong drive by Hugh Calise.
Nice finish with the left hand.
Beverly captain gets his team within 16.
Staying in the zone, but they are scrambling better. It's 2-3.
Galloway kicks it to Daring Michael. Short on that three. Ortiz knocks it out of bounds.
Chance for a little run here for Beverly. Full court man pressure now defensively for Brighton.
Morency. Skip pass over to Daring Michael from the other side. Gets that one to go. So Michael Daring with his second three of the ball game.
Yes, man-to-man is really making Beverly work on offense.
Gavin short with the hook, gets his own rebound, gets it blocked by Taylor. Johnny Ortiz, another baseline jumper.
Johnny Ortiz from
And Beverly wants to take a timeout. 4:46 left to go in the third. That 5-0 run just got erased by the Bengals.
I was just going to say that, and what's interesting, we talked about how Diaz, the big fellow for Brighton, sitting out this game with an injury, but in fact, Taylor has been a little better defensively inside.
Yeah, Taylor, a very good shot blocker and rebounder for the Bengals. Seth Arensky, our sideline reporter, has got an update. Seth?
Brighton's mantra this postseason is to play every game as if it was a state championship game. Hugh Coleman wanted his team to come out early and attack and was happy with the way they played offensively, but when talking to him at halftime, thought they could rebound a lot better. They've given up way too many offensive boards. Need to do a better job of putting bodies on the bigs of this Beverly side, and they need to play better defense. He wasn't happy with his bigs. He thought they didn't anticipate well enough during the full court pressure. Could have had some steals instead of giving up easy buckets. This half, they're going to go a little bit more man-to-man, though, because of the big lead. Guys?
Thanks very much, Seth. And Brighton Bengals playing every game like they want it to be the state championship. Well, they've done that so far here tonight. 21-point lead for Brighton. We're not even midway through the third quarter. You got to think Coach Coleman happy with the effort, but after losing in the sectional finals last year, the last thing you want is for them to sort of let up earlier in the state tournament.
A lot of the higher seeded teams, coaches talk about it all year, every year rather, that they really get a little nervous about these first round games, especially against teams who have really good shooting. Now Beverly's not had that going for them tonight, but when there have been upsets in the first round over the years, it's usually because the team comes in really favored because they have a high seed, and in the one-and-out format, you have a bad night, that can be it.
One thing you got to remember, too, about the seeds in the state tournament is there you see Moreland. No good on the runner. Gavin gets fouled down low.
Yeah, Beverly's doing a much better job with the offensive rebound, I'll tell you. Between Calise and Gavin, they're all getting in there. You see Coach Lewis for Beverly trying not to look at the score, but try to keep his team energized.
And almost poked away by Ortiz. Three-pointer is good from Kevin Morency. So Morency was his first three-point shot of the night. Puts it back down to 18. That three is short. That time from LaQ Howard. Get it inside to Gavin. That time, I thought that one was halfway down.
That was bad luck on that one.
Willie Veal. And Durain is able to get that out to Morency, and now it's Gavin. No good on the runner. Well, Gavin's just had some tough luck on some of those shots inside.
Point blank shots.
Daring from deep. No good on that one. Ortiz with a putback. Johnny Ortiz, the smallest guy on the floor.
Timing's everything. Time just jumped perfectly. In between, like you said, two big guys.
And getting fouled and getting the basket.
Impressive drive.
That was Durain.
Yeah, Durain did a good job. Saw an opening. Watched him, gets in the lanes, able to split two players, and Taylor not quite set. Gets the bump.
Going back to when we were talking about seeds, the MIAA, what they do is they take the records of each team and they calculate a winning percentage.
Right.
And then whoever has the highest winning percentage in the bracket gets the seed. So, a team like Brighton has played a very difficult schedule throughout the year. They've gone down to New Jersey. They've played, BC High,
right.
Teams like St. John's Prep. So they might have a slightly worse record than some teams that are ahead of them.
With the 5th seed, right, exactly. Yeah.
With the 5 seed, but they won the city championship there. They might be a more quality team despite being a lower seed. Right now, Beverly trailing by 17, and once again, they do have a chance to cut it down a little bit here. They can extend the run that they're on right now. Abreu. Off balance shot, no good. Taylor, and he's fouled by Gavin.
We got Taylor and Clark in at the same time, so two big guys for Brighton.
And Coach Coleman talked about how having Clark and Taylor and Diaz when he's healthy, on top of all the other guys he has in the perimeter, Brighton is very versatile. They have a lot of options. Play a lot of different styles as they see Murchison knocking down the three for the Brighton Bengals.
Now, when you really try to defend the post and have your guard sag down, you're going to be vulnerable to giving open three-pointers, and Brighton's taking full advantage tonight. Back to a 20-point lead.
Gavin open underneath.
Yeah, Khalees was determined to get it to him. Tried twice, had the first one knocked away.
First basket since the first quarter for Pat Gavin. Murchison from the other side, way off. Clark rather. And Gerard can't get the second one to go either. And Gavin gets fouled underneath. That's going to be on Murchison.
We've seen the Brighton team go 11 deep. And right now they have a few bench players on the floor.
Three-pointer on the way for Beverly, no good. As Khalees is fouled underneath, he'll get 2 free throws.
Yeah, Clark got there a little late defensively. Watch inside. You see Khalees thinks he's over, just doesn't realize that Clark's behind him.
Folks, want to make a correction. I've been saying Messiah Murchison, 24, but that's actually the freshman for the Brighton Bengals, Akinyele Crawford, who's now wearing number 24 for Brighton. As Khalees knocks down both free throws for the Beverly Panthers. A 16-point lead for Brighton. Minute 25 left to go in the third quarter. Clark inside to Taylor. I don't know how he hit that one.
Well, again, he used his length and used the backboard. Like you said, it was a tough angle.
Alex Copeland now in for Beverly. Brayu step back three is good.
You talked about him earlier in the first half. It's a sophomore. Nice step back shot.
Down to a 15-point lead. One more basket for Beverly before the quarter. They can make this slightly a ball game, but LaQ Howard with a nice drive, and he'll get the foul to try to make a three-point play.
Foul block called on Alexander.
And right now, Alex Copeland down on the floor.
He
Looks like he
down
might have
hard.
hit his head.
Yeah, went down hard after that block foul.
And we get another angle here. We won't see Copeland hit the deck, but when you hit that hardwood floor, it does not feel good.
No, because you're unexpected, because you're going down so quick. You don't even have, when you're in the air like that, after you get hit, you have no sense of where you are. Trainer just having him sit, lay down, and wait to see. Let's see. See, watch. He tries to step in.
And he must have hit either the back of his head or back of his neck as he fell to the floor. And of course, nowadays with concussion protocols, you gotta take a look at these guys carefully when things like this happen. Looks like he's okay.
I'll let him get up on his own.
Yeah, I don't. Definitely looks a little woozy. I don't think he's coming back in tonight.
Tough break for Copeland. He's one of the few seniors on the team.
So Copeland heads to the bench. LaQ Howard for the Brighton Bengals will be at the free throw line, looking to make this a three-point play.
You talked about the bracket earlier, Pat, and the way that this Division North 2 is set up. All three of the Boston teams are on the same side. You have New Mission. They'll be playing actually tomorrow night, and tonight we mentioned earlier Latin Academy at halftime was ahead of Winchester, and of course here we have the 17-point lead for Brighton. Excuse me, but for the other side is all teams out in the suburbs.
Howard completes the three-point play, and nobody else in the court realizes it except the referee, so we'll give it back to Beverly. Yeah, but you're right, Alan. The thing about New Mission is they're another team that has a pretty good record, but it's probably a little bit better than the record indicates. They got an 8 seed, as that layup was no good. Put back also no good. Clark comes away with it. New Mission's, if they win tomorrow night against Melrose, they got to play Arlington, who's currently undefeated in the #1 seed. So,
well, New Mission, I mean, you're right. It was a strange season for them. They got beat in the semifinals of the city championship, and then they had a terrible loss to Cambridge Rangers and Latin. I mean, Cambridge was a Division I school, defending state champions, but New Mission got beat by like 30.
And that three short before the buzzer from Moreland, and after 3 here at Madison Park High. It's the Brighton Bengals 62, the Beverly Panthers 44 in the first round of the state tournament. Quincy Taylor squeezing it home for the Bengals. We'll be back with the fourth right after this.
It's a short ride from your neighborhood to your naturehood. To find a neighborhood park or green space near you, visit discovertheforest.org.
Welcome back to Madison Park High School in Roxbury for the first round of the 2017 MIAA State Tournament. Brighton taking on Beverly here in the North Division II bracket. Folks, if you want to follow us on social media, you can go to Facebook, search for Game of the Week here in Boston. A lot of good stuff up there. You can also follow us on Twitter at Boston City TV. And if you want to tweet at us, use the hashtag BostonGOW. Just about ready to start the fourth quarter here at Madison Park as the Brighton Bengals lead the Beverly Panthers 62-44. Jordan Galloway back in for Brighton to start off the quarter. Jordan with 10 points, 10 assists, and 7 steals. He barely played there in the third quarter, so Jordan Galloway putting up a good stat line.
That's what you call like a monster floor game because all of his hoops are going to the basket.
There's Jordan banking that one home, so 12 points now for the senior point guard. And almost a steal there for Quincy Taylor, but that'll stay with the Beverly Panthers.
You have to like the way Taylor's played, sort of in a fill-in role as he was put into the starting lineup with the injury to Diaz. Rebounded well, done his job, played his role.
And that one stolen away by Galloway. Quickly up to Ortiz. So Jordan Galloway now with 11 assists and 8 steals. Feed it inside to Gavin. And can't finish with the left hand. Galloway gets fouled.
As you mentioned, he sat most of the third quarter. Moving here, up fake. Hitting the arm.
So they call the foul on Abreu on the floor. Perry from the elbow. Ty no good on the jumper. Khalees looking inside for Gavin. And he again can't finish off the glass, gets his own rebound, and that one slides home for him. Galloway back up top to Ty Perry, who goes to work against Gavin, and he gets it poked away. Moreland off the crossover. Slips by Taylor, he's no good inside, and that'll stay with Beverly. And Johnny Ortiz knocked it out of bounds. Brighton gonna call a timeout here, 5:54 left to go in the fourth. 20-point lead for the Bengals. And right now, if you're Hugh Coleman, you're just saying to your guys, let's just stay focused here.
Let's manage, yeah. And that's what pretty much they've done. They had one turnover the last couple of times down. But the fact of the matter is they did most of their important work in the first quarter when they were able to jump out to that big lead. They were up 16 at the end of the first quarter, and they pretty much maintained that throughout the rest of the game. I mean, Beverly's made a couple of runs. They've had a couple of spurts defensively and offensively, but you're seeing the fact like Gavin, Khalees, the three senior starters had to play pretty much the entire game. They're starting to wear down a bit as we're just under 6 minutes here in the fourth quarter.
Yeah, like we mentioned at the open of the broadcast, Pat Gavin was the one we were going to focus on, and he does have 10 points tonight, but he has had to work and claw for those 10 points.
And not only that, he's just had some bad luck with the rim. I mean, he's had a few of those point-blank shots with his little jump hooks, rim out or bounce in, then come right back out. He could easily have 20 points.
So coming out of the timeout, Beverly with the basketball right underneath the hoop. They get it inside to Gavin, and he's able to get that one to go. 56-48. Brighton Bengals on top. And that's going to be a backcourt violation on the Brighton Bengals.
Yeah, Beverly's playing. They've gone to a man-to-man because they can't afford to sit in that zone, but it's more of a help man-to-man where guys are still trying to keep the ball out of the middle for Brighton.
Look inside to Gavin, and that's going to be a foul on Ty Perry. Oh, no, excuse me, they're going to call that one on Thomas Maben.
Now, similar to the first quarter, that's the 16th foul. We got 5:13 to go. I'm sure Beverly's going to keep going inside because the next foul will be bonus for Beverly.
Gerard Clark back in for the Brighton Bengals as Quincy Taylor heads to the bench. Moreland short with that elbow jumper, but Calise with the rebound. Morency knocking down his second three of the game. Maben on the drive, gets it to go off the window.
Went through three Beverly defenders on that one.
Three-pointer on the way and good from Durain. Luigi Durain cuts it back down to a 14-point lead, but Clark running the floor for the Bengals. Corner three, no good from Gavin, but Moreland chases down the rebound.
Good box up by the freshman.
Durain, no good on that three, and that hits the guide wire above the basket. That'll go back to the Bengals. Panthers not going away quietly, making another run here to get it down to 16.
Yeah, state tournament. I mean, they and like you said in the open, overall the season's been a bit of a surprise for them. 12 wins on a team with just 4 seniors. Thinking they were having a rebuilding year. Missed three by Veal. Go back to Beverly.
The first round has not been kind to Beverly. In the last couple of years in the state tournament, they've lost the last 3 straight years in a row. North Andover, both in 2014, 2015. Last year they lost to Wakefield in a heartbreaker, 58-57. This time Durain, no good on the pull-up jumper. Howard is good on the pull-up jumper for the Brighton Bengals.
Under control. Good job by Howard.
Back to an 18-point lead, 3.5 left to go. Morency no good on the three that time. Willie Veal burying that one for the Brighton Bengals. 21-point lead now for Brighton. And Coach Lewis wants to talk about things. 3:17 left to go here in the fourth.
Yeah, he might put some of his bench guys in now. I mean, that one's...
That was a dagger there from Willie Veal.
Get you back up to a 21-point deficit. His starters, the seniors, have played the entire game. And like you mentioned, they gave it their best effort, but that explosion in the first quarter by Brighton just put things really out of hand when you think about it.
So Brighton with a 21-point lead. Our sideline reporter Seth Orensky with an update for us. Seth?
Guys, we saw Beverly senior Will Copeland go down trying to take a charge late in that third quarter. He went to the bench, was able to go on his own with a little help from his teammates. He was attended to by the EMT and the trainer on staff. He took the concussion protocol test. I'm not quite sure if he passed it. His mother came over, some more family. He's going to stay on the bench the rest of the game, but I do think that's the last we'll have seen of Copeland in this contest. Guys?
Yeah, thanks very much, Seth. Certainly tough for Alex as a senior on this basketball team. Last thing you want to do is sit out the rest of the last game of your career. But with the concussion protocol, you got to keep guys out. It makes total sense. with a brain injury like that, if that's in fact what it is, you got to keep guys on the bench, but certainly tough for Alex to sit out. You know he wants to go back in right away. Khalees there to clean that one up for Beverly. Coach Coleman not too happy about Brighton's defensive effort on that possession.
That was a total breakdown.
Howard on the drive gets it blocked by Khalees. Gavin inside. Moreland wasn't ready for it. Clark with a great pass to Galloway for the layup. Khalees. Reverse lay-in doesn't fall for him. Galloway off the hesitation, straight to the goal.
Like you said, a floor game for Galloway tonight. He's just he's made it impossible for Beverly to really get any kind of run going. Nice steal by Galloway.
Jordan with another layup off the steal.
Well, like we mentioned earlier, he's capable of putting together a major scoring spurts. We saw it last year against New Mission.
Moreland comes back with the layup for Beverly. You mentioned Galloway. He just seems so much more in control this season as a point guard. Last season he's very explosive, but sometimes it was a little too out of control.
Sometimes he exploded the wrong way, right?
That's right. Yeah. This season he's been very good.
That's going to be a foul on Brighton. That'll be 1-1. As a Beverly, as I expected, the Beverly seniors going to go out. Khalees, Gavin. Yeah.
A nice hand there for the Beverly seniors. As you always say, Alan, when you lose in the state tournament, the season just comes to a crashing halt.
Right, major. It's like falling off a cliff. Because and it's mainly because of the anticipation. All season you play with the idea of we got to get 10 wins, got to get 10 wins.
That's right. And you get those 10 wins, and then that next loss, you're all done.
That's it.
It's just. Yeah.
But I think
how it goes.
In reality, though, now what normally happens, teams finish off their regular seasons during the school February vacation. So, like in Boston, we have the city championships for a couple of days. Even some suburban leagues have
league championships.
Exactly, have league championships. Or you just finish out the regular season. But that next day, usually that Friday or Saturday, the pairings come out, and so I think once the coaches, at least, maybe not the players, once the coaches see the actual seedings and the matchups, that's when reality sort of sets in.
Sure, they can be realistic about it.
Of course, right. So you prepare your team as best you can, try to go to your strengths, but there are reasons why some of these teams are 12 seeds, like Beverly's case. They're a very young team. 3 good seniors, but for the most part, they're depending on sophomores and freshmen to play important minutes.
Yeah, you're going to have good guys like Moreland coming back and Abreu.
They can build on something now.
Sophomore.
I really like that.
Durain is a good junior.
I was going to say that tall. You mentioned Moreland, the tall freshman Duncan. It looks like he's going to grow some more also.
Perry, beautiful pass inside to Gerard Clark.
So it'll be interesting to know if Latin Academy is able to hold on to that 16-point halftime lead, because you're right, that would be the matchup next. 2 city schools, Latin Academy and Brighton.
3-pointer good that time by Abreu. Yeah, that would be a nice matchup. Meanwhile, in the South, we have 2 teams playing tomorrow night here in the city. You got O'Brien tomorrow night in their first-round matchup, and then Tech Boston also playing in their first-round matchup. Those 2 teams win, they'll be playing each other. So a couple of city teams, if they can put together wins in the first round, will be playing other city teams
in the second round.
In that second round of the bracket. So a lot of games going on across the city and across the state.
Good and bad. I mean, some people think that the city teams should be spread more out in the brackets, but the advantage is if you have 2 city teams playing, then of course one is going to advance.
That's right.
3-pointer at the buzzer. Got to feel good for Beverly, make it a final score of 19-point loss.
Yeah, Jack Crowley knocking down the 3 of the freshmen, but it's the Brighton Bengals winning this one 83-64 over the Beverly Panthers for their first win here in the 2017 MIAA State Tournament. Brighton Bengals, the 5 seed. And so far, the Bengals look pretty good. I mean, we saw them in the city championship. They were firing on all cylinders, and that's carried over here the first round of the state tournament.
Most definitely. Like I said, it all started at that first quarter. Brighton did a good job. They went out there. They recognized the defense that zoned it. Beverly was trying to pack things inside. So Perry comes out, hits 2 big 3-pointers to start the game. Then some other players on Brighton followed up with 3-pointers. And before you know it, 15, 16-point lead for the Bengals. And they pretty much managed things from there.
That's right. Bengals look very good here tonight at Madison Park High. Folks, we're going to take a break. When we come back, we'll have our Game of the Week MVP, our game-winning coach, and our final stats right after these words.
When I was 6, my days were spent playing basketball. When I was 6, my dream was to make it to the NBA. When I was 6, my mom had a stroke. I'm Paul George, and I want you to spot a stroke fast. F, face drooping. A, arm weakness. S, speech difficulty. T, time to call 911. Protect the ones you love. Spot a stroke fast.
When I was in foster care, I never knew when I would have to move. So I always had my suitcase ready to go. Then one day I was adopted. My new parents opened their hearts and home to me. My parents cook my favorite breakfast for me every morning. My parents take me on trips I never thought I would go on. They gave me a home and an even better reason to use that suitcase. My parents aren't perfect, but they're perfect for me.
They said I have troll teeth.
That my voice sounded like a possessed baby doll.
That no one would ever love someone as stupid as me.
That I was fat, ugly.
Disgusting.
The effect of bullying is potent.
We will no longer be the silent majority.
Now, when you see online bullying, there's something you can do about it.
We're gonna take action with the I.
I am a witness. I am a witness.
I am a witness.
I am a witness.
I am a witness, and so are you.
It's a beautiful day out here. Sunny today with light breezes, giving way to clouds in the afternoon. We could see some light precipitation to moderate precipitation later on, followed by powerful storm-like conditions. 90 miles per hour winds are expected. Authorities are asking everyone, stay indoors.
Come on, that's it. Let's go.
Everybody has a dream. Mine was to see the ocean. And with a little help, I made it.
Got a quarter?
Welcome back to Madison Park High School in Roxbury. At the conclusion of the game of the week, the Brighton Bengals defeated the Beverly Panthers 83-64 here in the first round of the MIAA State Tournament. A lot of good contributions from the Brighton Bengals tonight all around the roster, but the point guard Jordan Galloway was the catalyst. He had a phenomenal game, almost had a triple-double for the Brighton Bengals tonight. He's our MVP, and he is with our sideline reporter, Seth Orensky. Seth, take it away.
Joined by our MVP, Jordan Galloway, Coach Coleman, and Coach Brendan. Jordan, 18 points, 13 assists, 9 steals, 7 rebounds, close to the quadruple-double. Which of those stats is the most important for you to help this team win games?
The assists and steals. I got wonderful teammates. They finish everything I give them, so they're helping me out, I'm helping them out, and we're getting it done together.
Coming into this game, you knew that they were maybe a little bit smaller, a little bit younger. How important was it to set the tone early? They got those first 2, and you answered back with 10 in a row, really took them out of their game.
It's just better if you come out, punch your opponent, get them out the way early so, down the stretch, you can get other guys time, and it's just fun, having fun. So.
Speaking of getting other guys time, how much does that make it easier on you guys knowing that if a player went down for injury, unavailable, that some of those younger guys have gotten a taste today, potentially that next game or the next one down the line, if something were to happen, that you'd have a little bit more depth?
It helps a lot. The more the better. So whenever I'm tired, my guys come in and give me a blow, so it just helps a lot.
Well, Jordan, if the people at home don't know, you're sick, and yet you still played this well. I wonder how well you'd play if you were healthy. Congratulations on a great game.
Appreciate it.
We'll bring in Coach Coleman. Yeah. Coach, you said treat every game like a state championship game, and yet at the end of that third quarter, you said, hey, we're not playing as well as we could. We need to work harder. You ended up tied with them in the second half, coaching till that last possible second. How important is that for you guys, knowing that at some point you're going to get that really tight game where it might come down to a free throw or a last second play?
Absolutely. I mean, you hit it on the head there. Just want to give it up to a good Beverly team. They play hard, and they made it a little more difficult for us. We thought we could maybe get some of the younger guys in early. It kind of might have messed up our rhythm a little bit, but like you were talking to Jordan about, it's very important for us to try to get everyone in, get everybody a feel, so that if we need them in a tough game, if guys go out with injury, if guys go out with foul trouble, those other guys got some experience to give us an opportunity, to give us a lift and give us a spark when we need it.
With no Jordan Diaz today, how much more pressure did that put on some of your seniors, and how well did they step up to that pressure of sort of providing a calming presence in the state tournament?
We're fortunate. We're kind of deep, again, Jordan Diaz couldn't be with us today at the game, in the game, but Gerard and Quincy was able to fill in those minutes. Ty Perry being sort of a bigger forward, we can move him to the 3 or the 4. So we're pretty fortunate. I thank God that we're in a good situation where we can move some pieces around.
Coach, you probably at Boston Latin Academy, the 4 seed next week or possibly this weekend. You've already played them once. Can you give us a mini preview of what that matchup might have in store?
We played them early in the year. Coach Brendan's been doing a great job scouting teams and giving us some feedback so we know how to prepare. And I just think that, we play our game. I think like many games that we've had an advantage, we're a little bigger than BLA. So I think that that's going to give us an advantage there. Our guards, when Michael's shooting well, hey, Willie Vail off the bench has been awesome, shooting the ball, stretching the defense for us. So I just think that it's in the city, so we're going to be able to hopefully gather a big crowd to come out on both sides before we sort of move on, hopefully, and then we're going to worry about a fan bus and see how many people we can get to come to these games, but I'm looking forward to it. BLA is well coached, very well coached, and they play hard. So I'm excited about it, and his scout reports will, leave us prepared for these games coming up.
Coach, thanks so much for your time. We always appreciate it. Thank you. We'll head back to the table one last time.
Thanks very much, Seth. And they hear Hugh Coleman, who sometimes in the tighter games, he needs a lozenge at the end of the game because his throat, you can hear his voice run out there. But Coach Coleman's got to be happy with his team's performance here tonight. A good sort of starting off point for the state tournament and the Brighton Bengals.
Oh, definitely. And like I mentioned during the game, sometimes coaches get a little nervous about first-round games because as high school players, they look at the seeds. We're playing a 12th seed, and your point was really well taken, that even though Brighton's a 5th seed, normally they'd be a higher seed.
Right.
So the Bengals are coming in thinking that they're like a 2 or a 3 seed maybe.
Right.
All right. 12 seed, young team, only a few seniors. And so coaches sometimes can be a little leery of how my guys going to come out. But Brighton came out exactly how Hugh Coleman would have asked them to come out. They jumped. They gave it the first hoop of the game. Then after that, 10 straight points.
Right.
From there, they had a 19-point halftime lead, and pretty much they were able to manage, control, and that game was over pretty early. I mean, Beverly, you got to like the fact that they have a young team they can build on for the next couple of seasons. But tonight was tough. The seniors couldn't really be as effective as they've been during their 12 wins this year. But Brighton kept them under a lot of pressure. And that's what Brighton does. They go into that full-court pressure. They go into full-court man-to-man pressure. They go 11 players deep to keep fresh legs out there.
Sure.
So it was tough for Beverly. Brighton will be moving on.
That's right. The Bengals will be moving on. Let's take a look at the final stats from this ball game before we sign off here from Madison Park High School. And first up, we got the Beverly Panthers stats.
Well, for Beverly, Jermaine finally hit some threes in the second half, ended up with 15 points. Khalees, the other forward senior, with 12 points. Rebounds, Gavin had 11, Khalees had 7. And then assists in the bottom there, Morency had 4, and Khalees had a couple. So Beverly, like we mentioned, most of those stats are the seniors, but a couple of the freshmen and sophomores actually played pretty well for Beverly. And for Brighton, we talked about Galloway, the outstanding player of the game with 18 points. Clark with 13 off the bench. The big fellow is he's just so tough to handle underneath.
Right.
Body's bouncing off him while he's making layups. So there's nothing you can do about that. Clark also had 12 big rebounds. Galloway with 7 rebounds. And, of course, Galloway with that floor game of his 13 assists. Ty Perry quietly actually had 8 assists. So 21 assists between those two players.
That's right.
Coaches love to see that kind of stat line.
Without question. Jordan Galloway also with 9 steals, so he almost had a triple-double tonight, and on top of those 7 rebounds. Folks, thank you so much for joining us here on Game of the Week. If you want to watch this game again, you can go to our website, www.cityofboston.gov/Game of the Week. All the games from this season are up there, including the city championships from last week. You can also follow us on Facebook. Just search for Game of the Week here in Boston. A lot of links up there, good videos, pictures, a lot of great stuff. You can also follow us on Twitter at Boston City TV. And if you want to tweet at us, use the hashtag BostonGOW. We will see what happens over the next couple of days here in the state tournament. Hopefully we'll have another game for you later on in the week. Hopefully a couple of Boston teams squaring off either on Friday or Saturday. But for right now, we're going to say so long from Madison Park High School here on Game of the Week. Take care, everybody.